E stands for economic environment. A stands for social environment. T stands for technological environment. Technological. E stands for ecological environment. And L stands for legal environment. So, in toto, it is known as pastel. So, we will discuss the concept of pastel in international business environment context. So, the environment can be of 6 types: political environment, economic environment, then next one is social environment, next one is technological environment, next is ecological environment, then next is legal environment, which is in toto known as pastel. And we have to analyze all these environment, which is known as pastel analysis in international business. Or we have to scan these environment. Next is that is known as scanning. Then next is international legal environment, which is known as pastel analysis. We will discuss this concept. Let me first tell you what is all these environments. What is political environment and what are the ingredients of that, and how the political environment impacts the operation of international business. Now, first environment is political environment. Politics measure a major role. It plays a major role in operation of international business. The political environment consists of several things. It consists of first political ideologies. What is political ideology? Political ideologies, these are ideas, theories, orientations of political operation in a country. There can be 3 types of political ideologies. What are the 3 types of political ideologies? Those are pluralism, totalitarianism, democracy. In pluralism, there is it is a political philosophy. There can be totalitarian rule, there can be democracy. Democracy is a mix of pluralism and totalitarian rule. We will discuss those. What is pluralism? Pluralism is a political philosophy. It is based on the assumption that people of different beliefs, background, lifestyles can coexist in a same society. In a society, there is enough space for male, there is enough space for female, there is enough space for transgenders. In a society, people who believe in different religions can coexist together. In a society, blacks and whites can coexist together. In a society, middle class, lower middle class, upper middle class, lower class, and rich, ultra rich people can coexist today. That type of ideal philosophy is known as pluralism. So, many Scandinavian countries are an example of pluralism, which has a political system to accept and integrate different philosophies, different people of different beliefs, different backgrounds, different lifestyles. And there is enough scope for minority groups, either religiously, culturally, or by gender, or by orientation. So pluralism is a philosophy of coexistence of different people, which believes in different beliefs, background, lifestyle. Next, another is totalitarianism. What is totalitarianism? It's an extreme form of political system where there is only one authoritarian party, political party. In a country, there will be only one party rule. And there is no scope for opposition. It prohibits all sort of opposition. And the decisions is taken by some central authority. And in this type of society, there is no free press, there is no human rights. The system exercises very high degree of control on public. Totalitarianism. In case of China, we call it authoritarianism. So, a international business, before doing business, has to analyze the country where it wants to do business, what type of political system exists there. Another political system is democracy. This is one of the best form of political system which multinational companies prefer. MNCs normally prefer to do business in those countries which follows democracy. With democracy, there exists freedom of speech, legal rights. Democracy as a political system has following features. First feature is freedom of speech and expression. Free and fair election. The officials or executives in a democracy are for a particular term. There is independent judiciary. Democracy in a democratic country, there exists a independent judiciary. The bureaucracy and armed forces are non-political. Bureaucracy does not follow political instruction of their bosses. Armed forces or military is non-political institutions. And there is access to decision-making process. So this is one of the best form of government where international business or flourishes. In a democratic country, international business flourishes. If international business or MNC does not scan the political environment of the host country where it will operate its business, there can be different type of risk attached to it. The risk might be political risk. Let's take an example. Most of the Russian enterprises or Ukraine enterprises have their business in Russia. Ukraine industrialists have business in Russia. Now there is a war between Russia and Ukraine. Their international business is badly affected. So, a MNC has to analyze the political risk before investing in a particular country. What can be the political risk? Political risk can be in different forms. It can be nationalization of the properties of the MNCs, that is government takeover of the property. It can be in form of frequent strike and lockout in their companies. It can be in the change of political philosophy of a country. So a MNC has to analyze the international business environment, political environment. It may lead to two types of risk. There can be macro political risk, there can be micro political risk. Micro political risk affect a individual company, individual MNC. But macro political risk affects most of the MNCs. That is known as macro political risk. So we have to analyze, international business has to analyze the political system. It also has to analyze the extent of government intervention in the economy. Next, we will discuss the extent of government intervention, how the host country government intervene in the economy. The intervention can be of two types. There are some countries which are individualistic intervention. There can be some countries where there is communitarian intervention. In case of individualistic intervention, there is minimum interference by the host country government. But in case of communitarian intervention, there is maximum interference. Countries like US, Germany, South Korea, US, UK, these type of countries are individualistic interventions. But Germany, South Korea, Turkey follows communitarian intervention. So we have to analyze the level of intervention by the host country government in the MNC's affairs before putting into our money in that particular country. So first environment we have discussed, that is political environment. Pastel, in case of pastel, P is over, P means political environment. Next environment is E, economic environment. What is economic environment? Before investing in any economy, we have to analyze, the MNC has to analyze the economic environment of that country. In the world, round about 200 countries are there. And we can classify these countries into several categories on some economic basis. Three major classification of economies are done in international business. First is based on economic system. On the basis of economic system, countries can be classified into free country, mostly free country, unfree country, mostly unfree country, moderately free country, unfree or repressed countries. There are some countries where the economy is totally free, and there are some countries where the economy is totally repressed. A free economy is an open economy. A repressed economy is a closed economy. And there is in between open economy, totally open economy, and totally closed economy. There are three other type of economies: mostly free, mostly unfree, and moderately free economies. Similarly, on the basis of per capita income, what is per capita income? Per capita income is simply GNP by population. What is GNP? Gross national product by population of the country. That is per capita income. On the basis of per capita income, we can have lower income countries, we can have lower middle income countries, upper middle income countries, high income countries. As per a report of World Bank, on the basis of GNI per capita, if a country's income is less than, per capita income is less than $1045 in a year, it's a low income country. If it is between 1046 to 4095, it is denoted as lower middle income country. And if it is 4096 to 12,965 in a dollar, it is a upper middle income country. And if the per capita income is more than 12,660 dollars, it's a high income country. So before entering into any country, we have to analyze the economic condition of that country. The MNC has to analyze what type of country, whether it's a low income country, lower middle income country, or upper middle income country, or high income country. They have to analyze. Similarly, on the basis of a region, countries can be classified as East Asia Pacific country, Europe and Central Asia country, Latin American country, Caribbean country, Middle East and North African country, South Asian country, Sub-Saharan African countries on the basis of region. Why we analyze the economic system? Generally, we analyze the economic system because the need, taste, preference, way of doing business in these economies are different. We can classify different country on the basis of type of economies into four major parts. One is market economy. Some countries are market economy, command economy, traditional economy, and mixed economy. So what is market economy? Market economy is a type of economy where economic resources are owned and controlled by private sector. In case of market economy, private sector play a dominant role. For example, US, UK are best example of market economy. In this case, private players, private sector play a predominant role in the economy. What is command economy? Second type of economy is command economy. In case of command economy, the economic resources are controlled by government or public sector. So, in case of command economy, public sector play a major role. In case of market economy, private sector plays a major role. In case of command economy, public sector plays a major role. Example of countries where command economy is there, like China, USSR, Russia, these are some countries of command economy. Third type of economy is traditional economy. What is traditional economy? In this case, the economic decisions are based on age-old custom, belief, tradition, generations like this, like African countries. These are traditional economy. And last model of economy is mixed model. That is mixed economy model where there is combination of these three: command economy, free economy or market economy, and traditional economy. There is combination. There is coexistence of private players and public players. These are mixed economy. Most of the countries in the world are following mixed economy. So before entering into a host country, an MNC must analyze what type of economy the country is. Next one is, what are the major challenges of the economy? You have to analyze. The challenges can be unemployment. What is the unemployment rate in the host country? Inflation. What is the inflation rate? What is the wholesale price index? Wholesale price inflation. What is consumer price inflation? You have to analyze. You have to analyze the business cycle. The business cycle may be in form of boom, recession, recovery. What type of business cycle? Next, we have to analyze the growth of the economy. Whether the growth is stagnant or growth is increasing day by day. You can do one activity on the basis of this economic analysis of BRICS country. BRICS means Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. There are certain economic indicators. You have to search from net and fill this. What is the GDP size of all these economy? What is the per capita income of all these economy? What is the GDP growth rate? In what rate these economies are growing? What is the total forex reserve? Whether the balance of payment of these economy position, whether it's showing a surplus or deficit. What is the total export of this country? What is total imports of this country? And what is your remarks about the country after making economic analysis of this BRICS country? You can try it at home. So we have discussed two type of important environment. We have discussed regarding political environment. We have discussed regarding economic environment. Next, we will discuss regarding social and cultural environment. Social and cultural environment. Culture plays an important role in business. A MNC has to deal with cultures of many countries. MNC has to manage the culture of different countries where it operates. This concept is known as multicultural management. So, what are the cultural identification and dynamics of the culture? First, we have to see the nation as a point of reference. Custom, we have to analyze the culture of the country. We have to analyze the beliefs of the country, values of the country, faiths of the country. And we have to find out what are different cultural nuances. We have to find out the dynamics and cultural formation. We have to find out the language which create cultural stability. Generally, it is seen that people or countries which speak one language have a more or less one type of culture. French speaking people has a similar type of culture. English speaking people has a similar type of culture. So language plays an important role in culture. Religion, another important role played by culture. Because let's take an example, countries which practice Christianity, their culture is more or less equal. Countries which practice Islam, countries which practice Hinduism, countries which practice Buddhism, their culture way is more or less equal. Their food habits, lifestyles are more or less equal. Culture is also affected by social practices. You have to analyze different social practices. So on the basis of that, a MNC has to make social stratification. Stratification means classifying the society on the basis of some common culture. There are some society where merit play an important role, where the promotion is given on the basis of merit, how you perform. But like USA is a country where the promotion is made on the basis of merit or competence. But in Japan, for promotion, the most important criteria is seniority. Senior people will first get promotion, then juniors. So this is a cultural difference between US and Japan. Similarly, genders, whether there is gender discrimination, groups based on genders. There are certain countries where they do not allow women to work. Most of the countries which follow Islamic religion, there women are not allowed to work. Now things are changing, partially but slowly. There are countries like Afghanistan, Sudan, Saudi Arabia. Now in Saudi Arabia things are changing. So we have to analyze. Then there can be difference between countries on the basis of groups, on the basis of age. There are some countries where companies wants to recruit only young employees. Superannuation age is different in different countries. There can be groups based on family. There can be groups based on source of livelihood. There are some countries where people prefer to do business. There are some countries where people prefer to do service. So we have to make analysis of the culture. The culture analysis can be made on the basis of following differences. Once the culture is analyzed, there are two cases. You have to make adjustment or you do not adjust. If you make adjustment, you can sustain. If you do not adjust, you will face cultural shocks. Most of the employees of MNCs normally face cultural shock. What is cultural shock? Let's take an example. You are the employee of a multinational company and you are posted in China. And once you are posted in China, after some days of staying in China, you might face cultural shock. You may not adjust there. You do not know Chinese language. You do not like Chinese food. You do not know how to behave in China. So there is chances that you will leave your assignment and come back to your country. Employees of most MNCs face cultural shocks. So most of the MNCs are now providing cultural training before employing the persons in outside countries. So countries differ in context of culture. MNCs analyze the culture and social differences between countries before investing their money. Next environment is technological environment. Technology plays a vital role in today's modern business. The speed at which communication is made, the speed at which technology is changing, it affects the international business. Nowadays, international companies are use many smarter tools like email, WhatsApp, Zoom, call, Google Meet, MS Team, WebEx in their work culture. Because of the massive penetration of internet in the world. In the figure, you can see that the internet users are increasing day by day. India is one of the country which is having highest internet users in the world. So the technological concepts play an important role. In today's business, the international company has to analyze the technological innovations. It might be in field of 3D printing, use of AI or artificial intelligence, barcoding, big data analysis, blockchain, cloud computing, CAD, embedded system, enterprise resource planning, flexible management system or FMS, Internet of Things, IoT, machine learning, radio frequency and identification, robotics, sensors, networks, wireless communication, etc. etc. How technology is changing? MNCs have to analyze the technological obsolescence. What is technological obsolescence? If a new technology comes, the old technology based business cannot sustain. They have to change to new technology or they have to suffer loss. With the introduction of 4G in India, the 3G based telecom companies suffered huge loss. They have to shut down their operation or they have to make huge investment to go to 4G. So technological innovations, technology play a vital role in international business. Next environment is ecological environment. Ecology means environment. Ecological issues, environmental issues play an important role. Nowadays, people are telling regarding green industry. The industry which affect the environment less, environmental friendly industries, eco-friendly industry. Now, green finance, green bonds, green products are the buzzword today. So the environmental rules, regulations are to be analyzed by the MNCs. There are different ecological issues which must be addressed by the MNCs. The ecological issues may be the efforts of the MNCs to preserve and promote pollution-free and green environment. How the MNCs use renewable energy. How they save endangered species. How they reduce and rescue wastewater. How efficiently they manage energy. These are some of the environmental issues. How they spread environmental awareness campaign. How they do environmental impact analysis. How they incentivize good environmental practices. And how they contribute ecologically to ecological and environmental institutions. These are certain ecological environment which must be analyzed. Next one is legal environment. A MNC has to operate in different legal environment. It has to operate in several countries. So before investing its money, it must analyze the legal system prevailing in that country. The legal environment may be of different types. First is what is the type of legal system existing in the host country. The legal system might be of three type of laws: common law, civil law, theoretical law. What is common law? Common laws are laws based on tradition, previous precedents, customs. In US and UK, common law play a predominant role. What is civil law? Civil law is a law which is based on legal code, coded law. It's a set of laws. France, Germany, Japan, their civil law is predominant. Then theocratic law. The theocratic law, in this case, the legal system is based on legal precepts, legal precepts like Iran. There is theocratic law. So what type of law is predominant in which country, one has to analyze. Next, safeguard of consumer specific laws, consumer protection laws. It differs from country to country. What are the different consumer protection laws? We have to analyze. Next, we have to analyze the legal profession, quality of lawyers, fees of lawyers. We have to analyze. The MNC has to analyze different legal issues. What is the law of the host country related to working hours, minimum wage, length of weekdays, length of weekends, laws related to cross-border activities, laws related to FDI rules, FII rules. You have to analyze. Next, you have to analyze the ethical issues prevalent in host country. Only by abiding the laws is not sufficient. You have to, the MNC has to obey the ethical issues. They have to obey the rules by letter as well as by spirit. All unethical issues are not always illegal. There is difference between unethical and illegal. There are many things which are legal but unethical. So company has to, MNCs has to follow high degree of ethical issues. What is the ethical practices prevalent in host country? So MNC has to make pastel analysis. Now we will discuss a concept called scanning of business environment. How business environments are scanned, how they are analyzed in context of international business, which is known as pastel analysis. So we will discuss now scanning of international business environment, or which we will analyze the pastel analysis. In case of pastel analysis, first thing is political analysis. While analyzing the political system, what things we have to analyze? We have to analyze political system, political installations, political ideologies of parties, political stability, political culture. In case of political analysis, we have to find out what is the system of government prevalent in the host country. how the power is distributed between central government and local government. What is the role of civil servants in that country? What is the role of government policy? What is the risk? What is the attitude of the country towards foreigners and foreign businessmen? This is political analysis. Second analysis is economic analysis. Combinedly, it is known as pestle analysis or scanning international business environment. Second analysis, economic analysis. In case of economic analysis, we will analyze the GDP size of the host country. What is the GDP growth rate? What is the agri output growth? How agricultural output grow in that country? What is the size and productivity? What is the level of inflation? What is wholesale inflation? What is consumer inflation level in that country? What is the per capita income? We have discussed per capita income is gross national product by the population. What is the disposable income? How much income they can spend after paying taxes? What is the exchange rate stability? What is the currency fluctuations? What is the financial architecture? What is the current account deficit of that country? What is the size of economy? What is the composition of economy? Whether the majority chunk of GDP is coming from primary sector or agriculture, from secondary sector or manufacturing, from tertiary sector, from service. Whether it's a manufacturing-led economy or service-led economy. What is the economic health of that country? What are different economic policies? Fiscal policy, monetary policy. What is the FDI flows? What is the FII flows? We have to analyze. This is economic analysis. Next analysis is social and cultural analysis. That is pestle third. In this case, we analyze the people in that country. What is their demographic? What is their culture? What is the subculture? Who are the pressure groups? Who are the interest group in that country? What is the rituals of that country? What are the major festivals of that country? What is the heritage invasion in that country? Accordingly, we will design our strategy. What are the values system of the country? What is the belief system of the country? What is the language spoken in that country? What is the major religion? Education level, literacy level. All these things we analyze in case of social and cultural environmental scanning or analysis. Fourth, technological analysis. In case of technological analysis, we analyze the technological stage. What is the rate of change of technology? What is the available infrastructure of research and innovation in that country? What is the orientation of their people towards technology? What is the R&D facility available in that country? What is technology import and absorption rate of that country? How much technology they import? And what is the technological obsolescence in that country? The speed at which new technology take over old technology is known as technological obsolescence. Next environment is ecological environmental analysis or ecological environmental scanning. In this case, we will analyze the natural resources and reserves of the country. What are the natural resources? What are the major natural resources? What is the oil reserve? What is the forest reserve? What is the need for protection of fragile zones, protected zones? What are the pollution control mechanism? What is the geographical regions like vegetarian cover, location, altitude, rainfall limit in that country? What is the climatic condition of that country where we want to put our money? We have to analyze. Next one is this type of analysis is ecological environmental scanning. And next one is legal environment. This is the sixth step of pestle analysis, that is legal analysis. This is business related laws prevailing in that country. What is consumer protection laws in that country? What is the contractual obligations of the country? What is the regulation of the country related to foreign participation? What is FDI rules? What is FIA rules? What is the respect for judiciary in that country? Whether there exists an independent judiciary or not. We have to analyze all these things, and combinedly all these things constitute pestle analysis. So let me summarize my discussion today. Environment affects business. Environment may be micro or macro. All these forces which combinedly affect a business is known as environment. Environmental scanning is must before investment made, whether in domestic business or international business. So the environment consists of pestle: political, economic, social, technological, ecological, and legal factors. Combinedly, we have to analyze this, and this sort of analysis is known as pestle analysis. Today, the business is in a VUCA environment. What is VUCA? VUCA means volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. In a VUCA environment, pestle analysis plays an important role. Nowadays, the business is volatile. The business is uncertain. There is business environment is complex. Business environment is ambiguous. It is dynamic. So in order to cope with the VUCA world, the most important weapon is pestle analysis. Political, economic, social, technological, ecological, and legal analysis. So this is our discussion. In today's class, we have discussed some key words like market economy. What is market economy? It's an economy where private players play a major role. We have discussed command economy, where government plays a major role. Public sector plays a major role. What is mixed economy? It's a combination of market economy and command economy. Next, we have discussed social stratification. What is social stratification? Stratify or classify the society on the basis of social natures, that is known as cultural, on the basis of cultural values. Classification of society is known as social stratification. Next, we have discussed a concept called cultural shock. When a person goes to a new culture and cannot cope with that culture, he is facing cultural shocks. And we have discussed different type of laws like common law, civil law, theoretic law. What is common law? Common law are based upon tradition. Civil law are based upon code, rule, and theocratic law are based on religious precepts. Next, there is three approaches of international business environment. One is polycentric approach, ethnocentric approach, geocentric approach. What is polycentric approach? It is an approach of doing business in host country according to host country's practice. If an international company go to a host country and follow its practice, that is known as polycentrism way of doing international business. What is ethnocentrism way of doing international business? This is applying practice in one's own country to host country. It means, let's take an example, yoga. If a company teaches yoga in US, as per Indian rules, custom, traditions, that is known as ethnocentric approach of doing international business. And what is geocentric approach of doing international business? This approach believes in imbibing and practicing the best business practice of the world. Polycentric, doing business as per host country's culture. Ethnocentric, doing business as per home country's culture. Geocentric, doing business as per the best culture of the world. These are three important approaches of doing international business. Next, we'll discuss some important questions related to international business environment. Questions are, what are the key elements of international business environment? You have to write down the pastel. Discuss key macroeconomic issues. We have discussed economic environment. What are different cultural factors that influence international business? We have to write down. Then what are different legal elements which are considered by MNCs in international business? What are different political environment of a country and how political analysis is to be made? Evaluate different technological issues of international business and how MNCs can evaluate and make response to different global marketing environment, which is pastel analysis. So in our class today, we have discussed regarding international business environment. We have discussed the international business environment can be classified into 6 points, that is known as pastel, that is political environment, economic environment, social environment, ecological environment, legal environment, technological environment. At last, I am giving some reference materials for further reading. Thank you. Thank you all for watching my class. Thank you. Thank you.